I didn't have a planned out topic for this video, and I don't care. I don't know, I don't care. I just do what is the best thing for me in that moment. Everything that is physically presenting itself and I guess physically displaying itself within the realm of what people would deem possible. The best possible thing, that is my outcome. Why? There is no why, there only is, because I desire it. Therefore I assume it. I don't have to just desire it. I don't have to just want, I just assume. The moment I started applying this to every single aspect of life, and I mean every single nook and cranny under the rock aspect of life, it started to change for the better immediately. There was no process, there was no woke up one day and magically. I just became it. I actually still remember the day that happened. And you'll know once it happens, there is no thing you can look up about this, because if I had to give a rough estimate, off the top of my head, there's probably, out of the quote-unquote 8 billion people alive right now, there's probably like, what, 1,000 people like this, 900 people like this. There hasn't been a lot of people like this who have ever existed, and you'll just know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter how it comes off to everybody else who is part of that 8 billion. They'll never know. They're part of that 99%. The people who know exactly what I'm talking about, they knew this since they were able to walk. Ever since they were in preschool, they knew they were different. It was an innate feeling that sometimes manifested itself within thought. And it's odd that a 4-year-old is thinking that they're so different and distinguished in spirit than everyone around them in every single particular moment of time whenever he's thinking about it. He just is. That overwhelming sense of is, that spirit, that projects out. Your electromagnetic field radiates and vibrates at this frequency. That is what people feel. And just like that, I'm on a flow. Again, I didn't know or care what this video was going to be about. I don't care how it does. I don't care how it performs. I do not care. I don't know every nook and cranny under the rock in some uncharted island. I don't care about all the details. Hows, whys, and whens. When's the best time to post? I don't know, and I don't care either. What's the best possible thing to say? What's the best possible angle? What's the best possible... I don't know, and I don't care. That not caring is what's making the video. Because this isn't the best possible camera. This isn't the best possible equipment. I don't know how to work AI. I don't care. I'm not clip farming. I will make a clip. I just go by how I feel at that time. In one video, I can say, jobs are evil. Don't get a job. Do not apply for a job. Then in the next video, I'll say, well, in my life, I found it the best possible thing in the moment, given what I am given, taking the hints of life, because there is no hints, there is no clues, there's only what is. There is no, oh, this could be a sign. If you're saying that, that means it's a sign. Don't just be a paper bag in the wind. To be a paper bag in the wind is to have no type of grace or control. You are forgetful when you're a paper bag in the wind. You get pushed around. Any outside force can just blow you about. But when you become a dove and you're gliding gracefully throughout the heavens and you're navigating the heavens and earth, you have a wider perception of reality and a better navigation for it. Because a bird isn't always in the air, it isn't always in the heavens. Sometimes it grounds itself, and because it grounds itself as below, so above, they fly back up again. Why not apply this to yourself? These are heavenly secrets, these are heavenly mechanisms. And people just refuse to apply to themselves because what is not realistic? What is delusional? Sometimes all you need, or all you needed, was to get laid off. Sometimes all you needed was to lose everything. Because when you lost everything, that included yourself. And if you realize that you lost everything, you realize that you lost yourself at a point. And the fact that you realize you have that because you are that is when everything changes. That's when you stop knowing. Because the more you know, the less you know. Think of wisdom as a body of water. Think of the largest body of water you could possibly imagine. Think of the biggest ocean or the biggest trench, the biggest depth, the biggest, just all the water. Think of the most massive amount of water you can possibly think of. You probably think that's just it, that's just that. There couldn't possibly be a greater expanse of water under the surface ocean, because there is, and science backs this up. This was mentioned in Genesis thousands of years ago. But if you are a worshiper of science, if you idolize man and their intellect and their three-dimensional perspective over reality, over what is, science backs this up. There was an expanse under the great expanse that we see. So if so below as above, doesn't this also mean that there's waters above the firmament? Like there's waters above us. This is why, like how the water's blue in the ocean, the sky's blue. And science tells us that there's water in the sky, there's waters in the heavens. I wonder why that could possibly be. Think about how old that water is. Think about how old the water that rose up when the Great Flood happened. Think about how old that was. Think about how much water that was. Think about the water outside of this third dimension. Think about the oceans in the heavens. Wouldn't you think an ocean or any body of water in heaven would be larger than the largest ocean on earth? That would just make sense, right? Because again, as below, so above. You think you're top shit with your 10 gallons of knowledge, your Red Sea water amounts level of knowledge, until someone with the entire Pacific Ocean's level of knowledge comes into the room, and then you have someone thinking with fourth dimensional perspective. Therefore, his knowledge exceeds not only in mass but in dimension. It exceeds the weight and the expansiveness. So while you tend to the ego because it's the most familiar thing to you, you have to remember that there's always a bigger fish. There's always a stronger, more intelligent person. Because of this, the more you know or the more you have, the less you have. This is why rich people don't need money and always have money, because they don't need it. Apply this to everything in life. Why do you think a person who is excellent, he is hyper proficient at boxing, the skill of boxing? Do you think this guy is worrying about how accurate he is when he's being an excellent boxer? No, he's just tagging you the fuck up. And then after he just physically decimates you, he thinks he did a bad job. He's getting told off by his coach about how abysmal his form was as he was tearing you to pieces for 12 rounds. Do you see this now? Don't know, don't care. There's this guy called Elisha Long. I watch his YouTube videos. The way he presents himself, the way he appears in his thumbnail, the energy that he radiates, that's a smart man, that's a wise man. He says retard max, and I find that funny because of how true it is. It's laughably true. How to navigate life once you see it for what it's worth. It's like pleasing a woman, trying to make it at life, trying to make life make it for you. It's like trying to overcompensate about something you lack in spiritually. When you are pursuing a woman, you're trying to like cater to her every fucking whim, not understanding that the more you try to make her happy, the more you're trying. It's just the curse of Sisyphus. You're pushing that boulder up that never-ending mountain. You will give her the planet. You will give her the entire earth. But this is not satisfactory, because you should have known psychically she'd want the moon too. There is no winning. So, knowing this nature of how things operate, because it's not just women, it's everything. Once you realize that push-pull energy, that rolling force, that what goes around comes around, once you are conscious about you are conscious about your exchange. Your exchange is the frequency you emit, your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, your physical actions. This is what people ignore, because they ignore physical action as just another reflection of the spirit. There is a reason why we take a man who is physically fit more seriously than a weak man. His geometry tells us that his frequency is one of softness and of naivety. Because why is it that he assumes an out-of-shape version of a man, geometrically out-of-shape version of a man who is fit, in shape, fit, almost like you're putting a square wooden toy in a square wooden hole. He's physically fit for survival, for success, for strength. When a person is circular, when he's like 30% body fat, this person's a fucking he's ovular, or he's a circle. This guy is soft. This guy isn't cut. This guy isn't refined. This guy isn't angular. This guy isn't... He has no depth. It's like shallow water. Again, wisdom. I'm applying this to wisdom, and now I'm applying it to physical strength and aesthetics. He has no depth to him. He retains very little. You can tell this by the shape of his body. Now imagine physiognomy, or imagine how someone's voice sounds. Or imagine how someone's room is set up. Imagine the inside of someone's car. Imagine their behavioral pattern. Imagine what they consume. Imagine their diet. Imagine their spiritual inclinations. Imagine what they hold to reverence. I don't know, I don't care. Because I don't know, I know everything. I've accepted that with the more knowledge I have, the less I truly have. Because if I truly had, I wouldn't be in the need, I wouldn't be in the pursuit of more knowledge, of more wisdom. I have everything because I know, no matter the physical amount that I can that you can observe, that you can see, that you can hear. I can show you all the things you can touch and taste and hear and see and smell. And it would mean nothing, because if I felt the need in the first place to present it for you, I lacked it. Even if you think I have enough for it, enough of it, there's someone with a different perspective that will say I don't have enough of it. Some would even say I have none of it. I could come off as a towering intellect or an idiot to do entirely different people, because two entirely different people are two entirely different worlds. So again, once you master mental heavenly navigation with ease, the outside, the ground, the thing that connects you to the heavens, the thing that props you up, that springs you upward in the first place, that's going to be like child's play. It's going to be like a proficient boxer just jabbing. Like, imagine if, again, you are fighting a proficient boxer and you think you're giving him a handicap by saying, you can just jab me. The jab is all he needs. And he doesn't even need that. Because even if you said no uppercuts either, no uppercuts, no this, no that, you can only jab. If you took away his jab and said that you can only uppercut, then the uppercut is all that he would need. Because anything that you throw at him is all that he would need to transmute into gold. And that gold manifests itself in the form of beating you to a pulp for the sparring session, for the match, for whatever. All because he kept doing it. He kept focusing his attention on it. Therefore, his form got better. His shape got better. The way he positioned his foot, his timing got better. His angles got better. You see how physics and geometry and math go in? Even to a point, a little bit of mental alchemy and transmutation faints, because he knows as he's beating you up, as this person is doing what people think is thoughtless and violent and savage, this person is predicting your fucking physical actions during a fight, during a high stress situation. He baits you into doing what he assumed that you were going to do, using the fucking law of assumption, and then he crashes his fist in your face. Meanwhile, the whole time you're thinking, what the fuck, Al, you're panicking. He knows you're panicking. He knows you're tired. So he's playing on that. Everything that you basically say, hey, every time you lay your cards out on the table, every time you don't think to simply change what is at that moment, and you are waiting to want yourself to win, you're waiting for that want to hit him and that want to win, you're waiting for that shit to override the fact that this guy has better form than you. Like, you're not beating physics until you start to change up the style. You think you getting mad and seeing red is going to change the pace of the fight, and then he knocks you the fuck out. Don't get knocked the fuck out by doing the same thing over and over again. If something's not working and it clearly has you on the ropes, and let's be honest yourself, let's be honest with ourselves. We all know when that is. Don't feel bad. Don't start brewing in that. Just say, I'm going to change something, and have it be a game. Don't forget you're having fun whenever. You feel good all the time. And if you don't, that means you're focusing attention on something that you just don't resonate with. If you don't resonate with it, stop focusing attention on it. Poof, it don't exist. Literally. Try it. I've been through the decent flow, and I don't think I have to go farther in depth with this. Don't know, don't care. Try it out. Till then.